Today's recipe is homemade pita bread. For this we need 500 grams all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons olive oil. Here I have 150 ml milk, 150 ml water, 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons active dry yeast. So first step is to activate this yeast with sugar, milk and water. So let's start activating our yeast. To activate the yeast, I'll add water to milk, and what I'll do is I'll warm the milk with the water anywhere between 38 degrees Celsius to 43 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 210 degrees Fahrenheit. That's lukewarm. I mean, when you touch the water with your finger, it won't feel as if your finger is burning. So it's just warm to the touch. So I'll just start warming my milk and water mixture. I've just warmed the milk and water mixture, and I'll be checking the temperature of this, and you can see it's the perfect temperature. It's around 110 degrees Fahrenheit. At this point of time, I will introduce the yeast and sugar. Sugar works as food for activating this yeast. So I'll just add sugar first, give it a good stir. Please do not add salt while activating the yeast because salt kills the yeast. Now this is what I'm doing is I'm adding the active dry yeast, give it a quick stir, and what I'll do is I'll let this mixture rest for at least 5 to 10 minutes till the yeast is activated. Yeast has risen after 10 minutes. It's risen so well here, you can see it. Now I will add this to my flour and continue making the pita bread. I've added flour to my stand mixer bowl. Now I'll add salt and give it a little stir. I'll also add in the olive oil and give it a quick stir. Now I'll add in the activated dry yeast. After adding the activated dry yeast to the flour, I'll knead this to a soft dough for the pita bread. This dough is soft and ready. So now what I'll do is I will cover this bowl with a cling film and I'll let this dough rest for a minimum of 1 hour or until it doubles. I'll cover the bowl with a cling film and a cloth as well. I'll keep this in a warm spot for it to rise. It's been around 2 hours since I left this dough for rising. So now I'll just remove it from this bowl. Just added some flour to my fingers and place it on this mat. Dust a little flour on your mat, and just, my hands are clean, with clean hands start kneading the dough. Do not add too much flour to this dough because the more flour you add to this, it will be a bit dry. Just roll this out evenly. I'll divide the dough equally. And it's up to you whether you want large size pita bread or you want small size pita bread. It's your choice. Roll the dough into a ball shape. This is slightly smaller than a tennis ball. So I'll equally shape into round balls. Here I've got 8 balls of dough. Now I will roll the dough out, flatten it, and I will place it on this tray. So what I've done is I've lined the tray with a cloth and I've placed a parchment plate paper. So after I roll out the dough, I will be placing it on this tray, and then I will cover it with another parchment paper, and I'll let this dough rise for a second time for at least 15 to 20 minutes before cooking it finally. Start rolling our dough, and keep in mind to use less flour while rolling it out, because the more the flour you use, the drier your pita bread. So I'll just roll it out and just roll it to around a 1/4 inch in thickness. I've rolled this out to around 7 inches, and you can see the thickness. This is perfect. Now at this point of time, I will place it over my prepared tray like this, and I will cover it. Also keep in mind as to where you start placing your dough. So from there we'll start cooking it. So if I have placed it here, after 15 minutes I'll start from this very point. So I'll cover it and let it rise for the second time. I will be using this cloth as well, just to make sure that it's covered well. And I'll continue rolling all my pita bread. I have placed my pita bread dough here for second proofing. You can see I've covered it. So I'm going to start by cooking this side of the pita bread, moving on to this side. Once I cook these pita bread, so after cooking it, I will be placing it in this cloth here, and I will be covering it so that no steam escapes and my pita bread remains soft and fresh. So let's start cooking this pita bread. So I'll be taking the first one and cooking it right away. I've heated a pan on medium flame. Now I'll add the prepared dough, rolled out dough of the pita bread, and continue cooking it on medium flame. The indication of it being cooked is when you see these bubbles. I don't know if my camera can catch the bubbles of the pita bread here. It's cooking, and you can see these tiny bubbles, air pockets forming here. This indicates that the bread is cooking. Now, since the air pockets have been created, I'll turn this pita bread on the other side, and we'll wait for it to start creating slightly bigger air pockets on the surface here. So each side, first I've done is I have cooked the other side for a little less than a minute, and when I saw a few air bubbles or air pockets being formed, then I turned it over. Now you can see a big air pocket is formed here, which means it's going to cook evenly. So I'll wait for a larger air pocket to form, and then I'll turn it. And with very light hands, turn it. You can see how beautifully it's cooked, light golden brown here. And keep your flame to medium, a little less than medium, but don't keep it on high, because what happens is then your pita bread will not be cooked evenly. You can see how beautifully it's cooked. I'll just have a look on the other side. It still has to catch some color here, so I'll turn it back gently and just continuously let it cook. And this pita bread is actually ready. I'll just place it in this cloth and immediately cover it. Pita bread is ready. Always cover this pita bread before using it. Always wrap it in a cloth to avoid the steam from escaping before serving. Also, you can store this pita bread in Ziploc bags. Seal it well. First, let this pita bread cool down completely, and then you can seal it in a Ziploc bag and use it for a few days. So this is how pita bread looks. It's soft and fluffy. And I'll just tear it open to show you how well it's cooked from inside. The pita bread is still very hot for me to handle. How nicely it's cooked from inside. And this you can fill in your shawarma or falafel or whatever filling you like in this and make a pita pocket or even a shawarma. This is beautifully cooked. Homemade pita bread is ready to serve. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please click on the bell icon for notification of my latest videos. And thank you for watching.